Wherever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. He is
Owen Finch.
And I'm AJ Callan. We are back for a monumental episode because we have jumped right from Season 1, Episode 13 of Ben 10, right into Season 2, Episode 1 of Ben 10. Yep, the next day. So that's pretty impressive that we've managed to do that.
That might be a record for us, by the way. The first time we've finished a show and then jumped right in, or finished a season of a show and then just jumped right into the next season, the next day. That's a pretty quick recovery time for us. So,
yep. So as I said, this is Ben 10, Season 2, Episode 1, Episode 14 overall, called Truth. And the reason we did that is because, of course, last episode was Secrets. This one's called Truth. This one, it's not really a part 1, part 2, but it kind of is. And that last episode was dealing with Vilgax, and this one is dealing with answering Max's past and what the plumbers are.
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of glad we did this the next day, because it would have been nice. It's kind of nice to get this explanation. I guess we could have waited a month, but I'll admit I also thought we were gonna get more Vilgax stuff here, so I thought it was gonna be a two-parter, but whatever. I'm happy we did it. So,
well, we do kind of get some Vilgax stuff, but not obviously what you thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let's just get right into it.
Yep. So, Owen, you get to guess when this aired.
So I know the last one was March 25th, 2006. Obviously, a whole season's passed, so obviously there's going to be some time in between. Obviously, I'm thinking fall 2006 at some point, or winter 2007, because obviously things take time to make and animate. The only reason I'm leaning towards fall 2006, because I think back then, the internet was still pretty big, but obviously reporters and stuff couldn't really get the information. I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to do animation pretty secretly, so they could probably they could have been working on this season while season 1 was airing and all that type of stuff, and they just waited till fall of 2006 obviously to release it, but I don't think that happened. I'm gonna say we're gonna go to winter 2007. I don't think January. I am gonna go with February 9th 2007.
Owen, you are incorrect. I am actually, because remember, I was 5 when this came out. I'm shocked how there was not a big gap between seasons. This one aired May 29th, 2006. So that's only 2 months in between.
Wow,
season 1.
I figured. So they probably were working on it. They obviously had to have been working on the last season. They were probably doing it when the first episode of season 1 aired, type of thing.
Yeah, most likely, which is pretty crazy. Which, I guess that's not too unheard of. There are plenty of cases where, a network will automatically order, 2 seasons.
I know. Kind of shocking. What if the show didn't do well? What if it got, canceled, after the first season, that they just made all these episodes for nothing?
Yeah. Well, funny, Velma, I don't know if you heard of that one. That was a remake of Scooby-Doo that came out a couple years ago, but it was shit. Nobody liked the first season, but they had already ordered a season 2, so they were still making a season 2, even though nobody fucking wanted it.
That's funny.
I'm pretty sure that does happen, where the network was fuck, nobody likes this, but we already ordered a season 2, so we're kind of in too deep now.
Yeah. Didn't you tell me, this is not only ordering, but, Batwoman, you said, one of the Batwoman, shows or whatever, was so bad, but they actually thought they were going to get, another season, so they tried to, put a cliffhanger in there in hopes.
Yeah. And it's funny because that was a cut down season where they gave them half the episodes, and I'm okay, look, if you got a cut down season, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this one was once again directed by Marty Eisenberg. Like I said, he wrote. He wrote this episode. He wrote the last episode. He writes the finale, Back with a Vengeance. He writes the season 3 finale, Be Afraid of the Dark. He does a lot of the finales. And like I said, it's pretty cool because, like I said, Secrets and Truth are pretty connected. So I'm glad he got to do both episodes. This episode is directed by Scooter Tidwell, who does a lot of the Ben 10 episodes. And this episode was animated by Sunmin Image Pictures, who, again, they do a lot of the Ben 10 episodes animation-wise, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so there you go. Not really much we could say on that, because, again, just go watch the last video, because we're recording this the next day.
Like, again, this episode is, like, literally taking place, like, a few minutes after the last episode. So I am glad that they pretty much kept the same team on.
Yeah, that makes sense. So.
Yeah. But starting off, you get, you're not actually told this is a flashback, which is interesting. So you start off at this military base, and a bunch of nuclear missiles are getting, like, pulled out of their safety tubes. And the guy's like, you know, like why is the red light going off? We didn't get authorization for a launch. And, you know, the guy is like, we're not launching, sir. Something is pulling the nukes out of their sockets. And up in the sky, we see Vilgax's ship. And on the ground, a bunch of robots are attacking the guards. And we see Vilgax, but he's looking a little different. He's looking a little thinner. This is before he hit the gym.
Yeah.
And again, you know, we're not told specifically this is a flashback yet. But if you remember what Vilgax looked like in episode 1 of, you know, season 1, then you could kind of piece together, like, oh, this is Vilgax in the past.
Yeah, I kind of figured that, but then I'm like, well, his ship did blow up the last episode. Maybe this is like, you know, not long, maybe this is like a few weeks later. Maybe like he thinned out a little bit because of the explosion. But then I'm like, no, this has to be some type of like flashback or something, because Vilgax is looking a little small here. Again, maybe like I was thinking too, because I remember I said last video, like, you know, they don't like obviously make him look as big, because obviously we've already like seen Vilgax. So like, wow, maybe they're already expecting us to, like, you know, maybe they're already done emphasizing like how big he is. But I'm like, wow, I didn't think he got this. I didn't think he got like this small like later on in the season. Like,
it's funny if, like, you know, because like before he had like the breathing thing, like Darth Vader. I would love it if here, like, this was set in the present, like getting blown up somehow fixed his fucking lungs. Imagine like Darth Vader, like Luke. Darth Vader is like, Luke, leave me on the Death Star. When it blows up, it'll fix my breathing.
yeah,
Like, I won't need that anymore. Like, that's how science works.
I would love that. Yeah.
But out of nowhere, Vilgax gets shot by a blue laser, and he blocks it, and it like knocks him back a couple feet, but he remains pretty firm. And then he just looks up and says, "You." So I like that we're already kind of starting like at the, not even in the middle, like pretty much at the end of an already like existing story.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, like basically, Vilgax has already been like fighting these guys for a while, and like we're just getting the tail end of it.
Yeah. Which is kind of shocking, you know. They could, honestly, that could be like a prequel Ben 10 like series called like.
Oh yeah, like literally, like I was like, if we ever get a Ben 10 spinoff, I want it to be like Max, you know, like Max's past.
Especially too, because, you know, we've been kind of talking about it. Like, it seems like Max sometimes is out of the commission for some of like the big episodes and everything like that. So it'd be nice.
Yeah, he is. So I'm like, you know, that'd be a great thing. And like, he's like a fan favorite character, so like you 100% do that.
Yeah. Especially because
you know, we get some more flashbacks of him in the future, and I'm like, dude, like, again, you could just make a whole fucking show about him, you know? Like, he's so cool.
Yeah.
He's like the Batman of Ben 10.
The what?
He's like the Batman of Ben 10. Like,
yeah.
Just the guy who, like, has a shit ton of gadgets to, like, fight fucking superpowered beings.
But it'd be cool, you know, to see, like, Matt get his own show, because, like, after this, like, Ben 10, like, Alien Force, he's not really a main character, and, like, the other shows, he's not a main character, so that'd be kind of nice to get, like, a Max, like, flashback.
Because I think I told you Gwen was actually supposed to get a spinoff. That's why, like, early on in Omniverse, she, like, leaves. Because she was, like, going to get her own spinoff, but, like, that never ended up happening.
That's funny, yeah.
But yeah, we get introduced to these two masked figures. We have no clue who they are. You know, they're probably just random guys. One of them is an important help.
No. Actually, none of them are. You know, because one of them, nothing. These are just random guys, random dudes.
Yeah, random guys. You know, these are fucking Butch and Rusty's dads, Butch and Fusty.
Yeah, you know, these are. I don't know, Butch and Rusty are pretty important. These guys are actually not important, so...
Yeah. And by the way, I love the design of them, like the dark blue and like the black helmet and like the tubes coming out. Because in Alien Force and Ultimate Alien and Omniverse, the plumbers have like white armor, which looks cool, but like I feel like these ones, I don't know, these ones are a little cooler. Like I like the dark blue, I like the helmets.
Yeah, I like these. These are really good. I can't really comment on the other thing you said because I don't think I've seen an episode like where they're in it. So,
But yeah, they're like, it's over, Vilgax, you're going down. And Vilgax is like, yeah, no, that's not happening. And we don't know who yet. Random guy, it wasn't important, rushes in. And, the older guy who isn't important is like, hey, Phil, wait. And, Phil apparently starts shooting his gun. Vilgax, jumps up in the air, kicks the gun out of his hand and, takes him hostage. And he's like, all right, you random guy who totally isn't important whatsoever. Don't move or I'm going to kill your partner. And, the nuke that, one of the nukes that Vilgax wasn't taking is going to, launch and, kill a bunch of people. Because I guess Vilgax is just, an asshole.
yeah.
He's stealing nukes, but he's like, you know what? I'm stealing all these nukes except this one. I'm just going to let this one, destroy something just because I'm an asshole.
Why not? Yeah. Well, remember Hex randomly, in the episode he was in, all of a sudden, wanted to, destroy the town for some reason?
Because reasons.
Yeah.
And let's not even get fucking started on Clancy, where he's like, you destroyed my house. I'm going to fucking nuke the city. I'm gonna rule the world for some reason.
At least he had more of a reason than, the Hex, I guess. The Hex just decided, fuck it, I'm destroying the fucking city.
Hex was random. Yeah. I do like this when Vilgax kicked this random guy who totally isn't important. His helmet came off. And he's like, hey, listen, the other guy drops his gun, and Phil is like, hey, come on, no, you can't let him win. You have to take him out. Don't worry about me. I like this, kind of showing that Phil here is kind of honorable. He doesn't want to let Vilgax win just because he's been taken hostage.
Yeah, I like that. Don't really see. You don't normally see the person being taken hostage even say that too. Normally they're yeah, just do it type of thing. So I like that he cares more about the city and the world than himself type of thing. So
yeah, which obviously makes what happens a little later sad. But yeah, the guy basically who dropped his gun basically just says hey, what didn't say I would, kid. And then he pull. I love this where out of his wrist comes out a little mini gun, and it fucking knocks Vilgax back enough for Phil to kind of break free of his hold and push him away.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really like the design of these plumber suits because, like I said, it looks really cool the way it just pops out of his wrist. It's a very little thing, but it shoots off a big ass laser.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like that.
And it looks it doesn't look like sometimes that happens in shows where it looks like they just pulled a big ass gun out of their ass. But I like that you could actually it looks like it actually fits into the glove, the little compartment.
Yeah, it's a little compartment, yeah. Because I always hate that, yeah. When in cartoons they always just pull that type of stuff out of their ass. That wasn't there before and all that type of stuff. So
yeah, but it's okay, yeah, I could buy that. Their suits have these little hidden guns on them. But yeah, and then this guy, the older partner, kicks his gun up that he dropped, grabs it again and shoots this goo at Vilgax and his droid that was activating the nuke. And then the nuke is shooting up into the sky with Vilgax attached to it. And Phil is like, what are you doing? The nuke's going off. And then the older partner takes off his helmet and we see it's a younger Max Tennyson. And he says, what am I doing? I'm sending Vilgax off with a bang. And then you hear Vilgax screaming as the nuke is about to go off. Tennyson!
Yeah, I like that.
He's saying that a lot in the future.
Yeah, really cool little flashback here. I like this, cool to see Max, a little peek into Max's past because we've always heard about it, but it's nice to actually see it now that we know about it type of thing. Really cool to see again, this was in the middle of an ongoing story. We got to kind of see a little bit of Max and Vilgax's rivalry. And again, this is a little bit more sad, like in hindsight, knowing because Phil ends up being a big character this episode, and it's a little sad to see like how downhill he falls later on. So it's really sad.
Funny because this isn't even the last time they do that. We meet like 2 other of Max's partners later on who apparently had like either died tragically or fucking turned evil. So it's like apparently in the Ben 10 universe, it's like just don't be Max's partner.
I guess not. Yeah. So yeah, overall really enjoyable stuff. Really nice to see a look into Max's past, and I do like that they showed us instead of told us. You know, sometimes I guess it's nice to just tell us, but I really like that they actually like showed us. I feel like we get more of a feel for it and everything like that. And again, it's just really cool to see Max in action and everything like that. And in hindsight, maybe you could pick up that it is Max because obviously, the last episode, huh?
Same voice,
but like last episode, he was still focused on like saving Ben, but like he thought about things like logically. He didn't just like drop everything and like saved his partner here and like not shot Ben and let the world go to shit. He actually like had like a plan with that secret gun in his compartment. So I do kind of like that. Like you can kind of tell and get like a feel that this is Max before they like reveal that it's Max and everything like that type of thing. Yeah. Really cool to see Vilgax in the past too. I always like kind of watching to see where the villains like started before they became really powerful. I say this is going to be like really cool when we go back to watch like the Star Wars prequels and everything like that to see like Vader like before he becomes Vader like really powerful.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But yeah, just really cool stuff. You could definitely tell to the animation for Ben 10, like, I think looked a little better here. A new season, probably a bigger budget. They could probably do more stuff. More stakes, too. More story to, like, talk about type of thing now, So, kind of nice to see, like, the animation get a little bit of an upgrade, which is cool.
I agree. And, like I said, I think this was a great flashback. And like I said, I'm kind of cool with, like, it being pretty brief. Well, like, it's not too short. It's a good couple minutes. But, like, I like that we're kind of just getting, like, the tail end of the story. Like, obviously, Max and Vilgax were apparently fighting for a while before this, but we're just getting, like, the tail end of it.
Yeah, I like that.
It's also a good way to introduce Phil, obviously, because, like, here he's just like, oh, he's Max's partner. But now, obviously he's going to be important later in this episode, so I like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's nice to see that he actually like was a good guy in the past. And then we cut to the present, where we see Max, Ben, and Gwen driving away in the Rust Bucket. You see Mount Rushmore in the background, so obviously this is pretty clear indication, and this is like right after Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically explains that, like, that was the last time I saw Vilgax, that nuke that I attached him to blew up a ship, and I thought he was gone for good. But, until today, it looks like.
I will say, do you think, like, he told them more than, like, we saw? Like, obviously...
Yeah, I was going to say, he probably told them, like, the whole story. But we just got, like, the tail end of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, fuck, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, sorry. So, Max says, I thought the job was done with Vilgax until today. Gwen basically says, like, what is that job exactly? And Max says, like, obviously I wasn't a normal plumber. The plumber I was is like a secret organization of alien hunt, people who, do the jobs that nobody else wants to do. Hunting, extraterrestrial, extra sensory, and extraordinary. I like that. The reason I say all that instead of just saying he fought aliens is because he's saying he fought more than aliens. Like, he also fought like anything that was considered like supernatural.
Yeah. So,
I like that. Well, because later on in the show, like way later on, we get a crossover with the Secret Saturdays.
Okay.
Which is another cartoon on Cartoon Network, and they like research cryptids.
Okay.
So basically, in like I think they mentioned like they worked with the plumbers before. So like Max didn't just like fight aliens; he also like fought cryptids, and which isn't a big surprise because we saw the Kraken stuff.
Right.
And like, we saw mutants like Clancy, the bug guy, who like aren't aliens, they're just like people with powers.
I don't think the plum was really too focused on fucking Clancy though. They let him.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, we got this bug guy in this house. He's gonna take over the world. It's like, I'm clocking out in a minute. And who gives a shit?
I don't even think like Phil would even care about like catching that guy to build his business.
Yeah,
up.
I know, right? Phil was like, I'd rather just like release these guys instead of go fight Clancy, because like, who the fuck cares?
Clancy and John Miles, who cares about them?
Yeah.
So,
I like this, and then we get a shot of the plumbers fighting off these aliens, and I like this because these aliens were actually some of the first designs for Ben 10.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like when they were drawing like concept art, these aliens were like one of the first like ones they made. So I like that they included them in the show.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and basically the plumbers are out of commission now. Max is retired. Because Ben is like hyped up. He's like, "Whoa!" So this whole time I've been like a plumber in training. Like I've been following in your footsteps. And Max is like, "Yeah, no, the plumbers are out of commission. Like, I wasn't a hero. I was just a guy doing a job. And like the past is the past."
Yeah.
So I do like that Max doesn't really consider himself like a hero. He just considers himself like a guy doing a job.
Yeah, I like that. I also kind of like that, like, Ben thinks this is, like, cool, but, like, Gwen is upset with Max that, like, that he kept this from them. Like, he didn't trust, like, them enough to, like, obviously tell them about this. Yeah. So I like that. They don't, like...
Yeah, because, like, you always told us we could tell you anything. I guess you didn't feel the same.
Yeah, so I do like that. I like that they don't spend too long on that, though. Like, we get, like, a couple scenes about it and all that type of stuff, but I like that they don't, like, make that, like, a whole thing and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's not, like, too in your face, but, like, it's, it is realistic. Like, again, if our grandfather was like, by the way, I wasn't a regular garbage guy. I was out there fucking traveling the universe, kicking alien ass. I'd be like, I feel like you could have mentioned that sooner. That might have been an important detail to bring up.
Yeah, so...
Because Gwen is also like, "Oh, did you know about the Omnitrix?" And Max is like, "Hey, I was just as surprised as you when it landed and Ben found it. Like, I heard rumors about it. Like, I heard the name. I heard it existed, but like, I didn't actually like believe in it. It was more like a legend."
Yeah. So that's cool. But you know exactly.
I like that the plumbers here are kind of portrayed as like Men in Black. Like human organization, like kind of secret society. In Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, they're more so like Green Lantern Corps, which is like they're like a universe hopping like police force.
Yeah.
They're like in the open, and like they're, instead of being like just Earth, they're like across the galaxy. Omniverse kind of does a good middle ground where like they're both. Where like, you got the Earth plumbers and you got like the space plumbers, and they like kind of work together, but they're mainly separate.
Okay.
So I'm just saying I like that, like, because like Alien Force kind of does a different take with the plumbers. Later on, they kind of say both were true instead of just saying one or the other.
Yeah, I do like that. That they expand on it, but then like they don't necessarily like, discredit one or discredit the other. They like kind of keep both stories, which is nice. So
yeah.
But yeah, this is where I take over. All of this stuff was good. I really liked hearing about Max's past. Nice to hear like what specifically he did. Because obviously I always kind of like knew that like he was a plumber. There was more to it than that. But I liked that I actually got to like hear what it actually was and all that type of stuff. Kind of like Ben and Gwen's reaction to it. That they had good reactions. Nice to see Max's past. But then doing all of this, we hear like over the radio that there's some type of like, like alien occurrence going on. And Ben obviously wants to step in to see what's going on. And he goes to turn into, what's the name of the quick guy? The guy that can run really fast.
Accelerate.
Accelerate. But he doesn't get that alien. He gets Ripjaws. So trivia question, AG, when I asked somebody, I always thought it would be like Forearms or Heat Blast that would be the first alien of season 2. But who was the first alien Ben turned to in season 2? It was Ripjaws, which
Yeah. Well, Ben's not going to turn into him at all in season 3, so might as well get him his screen time while he can.
I guess so. But if you had asked me that trivia question, maybe years later, after we've done this, I don't know if I would guess Ripjaws.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that we're starting this season on a mistransformation.
Yeah, especially too because last season, I'm gonna guess though because it's right afterwards. I think this happens a lot. Maybe because the watch got so messed up the last season, the watch probably is still messed up from that Vilgax fight, so that's why we're getting a lot of mistransformation.
I was gonna say he mistransforms twice in this episode.
Yeah, so maybe the watch was still maybe messed up from all that Vilgax stuff.
I can see that.
So yeah, so he gets Ripjaws. So he runs over, but obviously Vilgax can't breathe. So he goes over to to some building, and
the police and firefighters are outside, so he grabs a fire hose.
Yeah, and sprays it up in the air so he can breathe outside of water. He goes in there. He's got a really intimidating voice, but he's trying to get the alien okay, come on, you're making us look bad and everything like that. And then the alien turns around. We find out that this really isn't that imposing of an alien. He's a little bit taller than Gray Matter, but he looks a little imposing. But then laughs at him, being wow, really? Again, still really cool because Ripjaws is supposed to be this imposing fish monster and everything like that, and you hear him act like a 10-year-old and all that type of stuff, which is really funny.
I always like the aliens act they are still bad,
Yeah. Unfortunately, Ripjaws was the first alien, but he still gets kind of shit on here. He gets kind of his ass kicked. He really doesn't do much in this fight. He needs water to breathe, so he never even lays a punch or nothing. We don't get to see his powers or him do anything cool really. And then they continue to walk over. He bumps into this guy who I think we were meant to think was part of the police or something like that, coming in there. But then we find out there's something more to him, and he turns around and is just they both scare each other, and then he's just and they both are who are you? And they're what are you doing here? And they're both sitting there looking for an alien. This guy shoots Ben, and he takes a pretty bad shot. He's down for the count for a little bit, and then Gwen and Max come over after all this, and they're asking one of the firemen have you seen a giant fish monster run through here? That's a normal question you get every day. That's pretty normal. I ask that question probably 5 times a day. So, it's pretty normal. And then,
day for me.
Huh?
Average Tuesday for me.
Yeah, average Tuesday. I got a ton of those fish monsters out there, and with those monkey tail boys.
With those monkey boys and the iceberg boys.
Yeah, I got a ton of those. So, so they go in there. This guy is trying to shoot down this alien, but then he uses his power to knock over a bookshelf and knocks it over to this random guy. Not important at all. He's never gonna be in the bookshelf killed him.
He's not even a cop. He's like a sushi chef.
This could be Ash reanimated because don't forget the first Evil Dead. Remember every 2 seconds a bookshelf I think fell on him. I think.
I would love if this was actually the Ash who got sent to the Ben 10 universe. He has the fucking chainsaw hand. I would love that.
Yeah. Don't forget. They fight extraterrestrials. I think the Evil Dead demons would. I think they qualify, right? I would think so.
Oh, and again, there's a comic where Ash gets sent to the Marvel Zombies universe. So him getting sent to Ben 10 is not even that out of the ordinary.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine that universe? What that would be like? So.
Yeah, we got to do that comic eventually. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think that's a Halloween thing we're doing this year, actually. So,
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
But yeah, so doing all of this. The alien's kind of getting ready to finish off this guy, and then Ben just comes over with a bucket and traps the alien, so like he can't get out now or anything like that. Not a bad fight, but not the best utilization of Whipjaws to see what he could really do. Like all he kind of did was get his ass kicked. He couldn't breathe, and the only reason he beat the alien was he trapped it in like a bucket. Like I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, distracted by kicking this guy's ass. So yeah, like literally any alien could have done that. Like gray matter could have done that.
Probably, yeah. So yeah, not bad, but again, like not really a good showcase for Whipjaws or anything like that. So, and then Max and Gwen come in, and the watch time's out, but like I think the guy was like still laid up on the bookcase and stuff, so like he didn't see this happen.
Yeah, and I know Ben like tried to make his voice deep. He was like, "Well, I'm going now, bye." Like trying to.
Yeah, funny. I don't know. I don't think I never expected to see something like that, so that's funny. Yeah. So, and then he comes out and like tells Max and Gwen that like this guy showed up, and then Max looks over, and he's happy to see Phil. They have like a reunion, and this is cool. We find out that this is the guy that like was teamed up that we saw in the flashback and everything, and Ben and Gwen are kind of confused that they're like good with each other and everything like that, and the guy's about to take him away, and we basically found out that Max basically like put the plumbers like on hard times because after they finished the Vilgax like war, there really was not much of a need for like the plumbers anymore. So like everyone's kind of left. It's kind of going downhill, and like Phil's gonna start like his old plumber thing going on to hunt aliens, which ended up being pretty important. That was kind of a little bit of a throwaway line, but that ends up being pretty important for this episode.
Yeah,
and
also I think it makes sense why he's here because we see he's been getting his equipment from like the Washington Monument, the Mount Rushmore base.
Yeah, so
obviously they came here because of Vilgax, and then Phil's been here using that equipment. So like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. What the hell were you last episode, Phil? Like you missed all that. You missed all that stuff that you could have been doing.
I know. I was about to say Vilgax's ship fucking crashed over the Mount Rushmore monument. You think Phil was like waking up with his tea or coffee? He looks up and he's like, "Holy fuck, is that Vilgax?" Like imagine Phil's POV on that shit happening.
Yeah, especially too because he doesn't even with the big reveal we found out he didn't even need to do that like if he was just there last episode he could have just like gone and like But
yeah, I know, right? Like again, imagine he like found out what happened last episode. He must have been shitting his pants. Speaking of his pants, I like that the detail that like his suit is all fucked up. Like it's got a bunch of like patches over it. Like it's been like torn off and he's kind of just like sewing over it.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense that like he's the only plumber around, so he's basically been just like repairing his own suit.
That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, he kind of offers for him and Max and like Ben him and Max to team up, but Max says like no, I'm retired, I'm out of the game pretty much.
Real quick, you kind of glossed over it. Max was like, "Oh, a Davic beast, huh?" Because that's the name of the alien that they fought. He was like, "Huh, I haven't seen one of those since the one we took down in Denver."
Yeah, so that's cool. They're kind of talking about stories.
So, yeah, well, also, that's an important thing because, it's probably the same Havoc Beast.
Oh, it could be, yeah. So, yeah. And then Ben, obviously was about to, because, like, this guy kind of took credit for catching the alien, but Ben was about to say he did it, but then Max didn't want, like, Phil to know about the Omnitrix, so he kind of tells Men to be quiet. Obviously we've already added Max, but now Max is still continuing the lion train because he's lying.
I know, right? And listen, there's so much shit that Max is still keeping secret. Again, Obi-Wan, Roshi, and fucking Iroh in the corner, like, whoa, go Max, keep them secrets.
Pretty soon we're gonna have to add Phil to the lion list because he kind of lies a lot in this episode. So
yeah, he does. He's an honorary member. But again, Max is still his superior. What is it? What is it Darth Vader said? Like, when I left you, I was but the learner, but now I am the master.
Yeah, true.
And Max is like, only a master of being a shit liar, Phil.
So who's like, I remember you said last episode, like Zhao, like is the spokesperson for like that group. I assume Obi-Wan's like the one getting all the members for like the Lion Club, the old
Yeah,
Lion.
yeah, he's the head of the council. Again, Obi-Wan is like maximum liar. You gotta be a real good liar to overthrow him.
I mean, Obi-Wan, it makes sense. He's with the Force Squads now. He has an easier path now to go like around traveling to get those things. So
exactly.
And Yoda's the one that tears it all down. All the
Yeah,
lies.
I know. Yoda's the one spilling the secrets. Obi-Wan's like, "Shut up, man! Come on."
You wanted a club here, like.
Yeah. Fuck it. I managed to lie for 20 years, and you're ruining it.
But yeah, so they kind of like take off, and then like they're back in the Rust Bucket. And Ben's like confused, like why didn't you want to like tell Phil about the Omnitrix or anything like that? And Max says that's on like a need to know basis. I like Gwen kind of throws shade at him. Was like, yeah, just like your past was on a need to know basis, which I thought was funny. And again, makes sense that Gwen would feel that way. And I like this where Ben's being very adventurous. He's like really excited, like, yeah, but now we could all be like a team, like you, me, and Phil. We could like, take down a whole army of aliens and everything like that. Like I like that Ben is like the 10-year-old kid that wants to have like a big adventure with everybody. And I like this when Max says like sometimes it's not about like looking to the past. Sometimes you have to like move forward to the future and everything like that and just focus on that. And
which that's kind of the problem with Phil, as we're gonna find out, that he's like so stuck in the past. He's like literally going out of his way to like recreate it essentially.
Yeah. And then not a radio call, but a video call comes in from Phil, and he's just like, "Hey Max, you out there? I have like an alien problem here." I like this. This isn't really too much of a coincidence. I assume we were gonna find, because we do find out there's more to Phil, but I assume this was gonna be Omnitrix related. But like what ends up being more to Phil isn't even Omnitrix related, because he doesn't even know about like the Omnitrix until like Ben times out and everything like that. But I assume like
you kind of glossed over. Did you mention that Phil like looks at the watch and he's like, "Hey, cool watch. It looks kind of familiar."
Yeah, I did gloss over that by accident.
Okay. I was like, I wasn't sure because you mentioned that Max doesn't want him to know about the Omnitrix, but I didn't know if you mentioned that. Okay.
Well, I didn't mention that, but I like mentioned like Ben was trying to say like he was the one that took like the. So I forgot he like looked at the watch and like asked about it and everything like that.
Yeah. Which again makes Max said they like knew, they heard rumors about it, but like they didn't actually know if it was like real or not.
Yeah, but overall, good stuff here. I liked meeting Phil present day, finding out more about the plumbers and everything like that. The only real critique is obviously the Ripjaws thing. Like they really kind of shit on Ripjaws there, which is just not cool. Like Ripjaws could be a cool alien, but
yeah, I know. He I think he's cooler than Wildmud, but like they somehow just give Ripjaws the shit end of the stick every time. And I get it's a little hard to write around him like needing water, but like I feel like you can do it. Again, they literally just like had him soak himself in a hose and then he was fine. So like you could pretty easily get around the whole water thing.
Yeah, for sure. So
but yeah, Max, Ben, and Gwen go to where Phil's at, and it's just like what is it like a butcher shop or like a meat factory or like I forget the exact term for it.
You wrote in the notes meat meat factory. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like an actual term for it, but I can't remember. But anyway, we're they store a bunch of like animal carcasses to presumably be sold at like butcher shops and stuff. And this is actually pretty smart of Phil because as we're gonna find out, there's more to this. But like it's actually a pretty good excuse. That like, oh hey, the aliens were attracted to like the smell of the meat, like that's a pretty good excuse.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like you said, Phil basically was saying like, hey, I got more than I bargained for, like I need your help. So everyone shows up there, and then we see it's two Vulpamancers, aka Wild Mutts.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how they look. They're huge. And like their lips are like peeled back and they got like big fangs. This is our kind of first showing that like some of the like Ben's aliens match his age.
Yeah. So that's
because Ben is like, oh, Wild Mutts, I communicate with them.
Yeah. I do like too that like they don't not all the aliens like look the same too. Like this one looked different.
Yeah. Like one of them is orange, like Wildmutt, and the other one is like kind of like a paler color.
Yeah, I like that. So,
So yeah, Ben slaps the watch, turns into Wildmutt, and Phil is like, "Oh, that's why that watch looks familiar. That's the Omnitrix. Like, holy crap!"
mm-hmm.
So Ben goes up to it, and again, I like that you get a good comparison between the two. Like Ben is a lot smaller.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, like he just like looks different. Like he's got lips and like teeth compared to they got like peeled back lips.
Yeah.
Because obviously, again, Ben is a 10-year-old, so his aliens match his age.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which like that's why when we get like Ben 10,000 or even an Alien Force when Ben is 15, his aliens will like look different because he's older.
I wonder if he lives to be 100, what the fuck his aliens would look like. If they all be like,
just like forearms, just like in a cane, like I'm so old now.
Yeah.
And we also get an episode where Ben gets like dipped in the fountain of youth and he becomes like a 4-year-old. So his aliens are like toddlers.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So because I mentioned in Hunted that like it's weird that Ben as Diamond Head looks the same as Tetrax.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's like season 1 didn't think about that, but now they're kind of introducing the idea that like Ben's aliens look different because of his age.
Yeah, so that's cool.
But yeah, Ben is like trying to communicate with the Vulpamancers, but no dice. And Max and Phil even say like, yeah, Vulpamancers aren't really the kind of species that are cool talking, even amongst their own kind.
AJ doesn't even think they're cool in general, anyways. So that's
yeah. I'm like they're not really cool in any category. Well, no, I do like that detail because the Omnitrix has sapient species, which means like they're like intelligent, but like the bar for intelligence is pretty low.
Yeah.
Like so wild mutts or Vulpamancers are like dumber than humans. Like they're more animalistic. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense that like they're not really much for like talking. They're kind of just like, again, they're like slightly above like earth animals, probably like slightly above dolphins or something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because like the Omnitrix doesn't take in like dogs or cats because they're not like intelligent enough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like wild mutts like are just above that bar. But yeah, they start chasing Ben around, and they end up on like the conveyor belt. And they're like, trying to knot Ben, and like Ben has to like knock him off them before they end up in like the meat processor and shit. This is a cool little chase around, and again, I like how much bigger they are because they're a lot older. Max, Phil, and Gwen don't really do much during this whole thing until Phil basically takes out a sonic disruptor.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this because obviously Wildmutt is blind, but his other senses like smell and hearing are way better. So this like sonic frequency, it's like a dog whistle essentially, where it like causes them to like keel over in pain.
Yeah.
And I like how Phil is like, yeah, sorry, Ben. I'm kind of attacking you too by accident.
Yeah, I like that.
I do like where Max kind of catches it because Max is like, what are the odds that Davik Beast and Vulpamancer attack it on the same day? That's a coincidence. And he's also like, wow, what are the odds that you just happen to have a sonic disruptor on hand?
Yeah, so I like that Match catches it. I was kind of suspicious about this fight also, type of thing, like what a coincidence he meets Ben, like another alien breaks out, type of thing. And this wasn't one of those coincidences, obviously, that we typically talk about in Ben, where like what a coincidence all this stuff's going on when they're there, but like this one seemed like even more of a coincidence. Like, wow, this is a little suspicious.
It's like 2 alien attacks in one day in the same spot. 3 if we're counting Vilgax,
But that's unrelated. That's unrelated. So
yeah, that wouldn't be related. Basically, Phil gets distracted. The Vulpamancer like knocks him away and like destroys the sonic disruptor. So and Ben turned back into a human. So Max gets on a forklift and like rams into the Vulpamancers, and he hops off of it as it crashes into like a nearby like storage bin, and Max like shuts it and traps the Vulpamancers inside.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a nice little fight. Like I said, I mean, the main thing was it's cool seeing like Ben's aliens, like other members of Ben's species.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and like I said, Vulpamancers are. I think they're cool. Again, compared to the other 9, I'm like, yeah, they're kind of lame. These are basically just like overgrown dogs.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, here it's cool because again, I think it makes for a good enemy because, like I said, they're like animalistic and even amongst like their own kind, they don't really talk.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, all this was good. I kind of like that. Like this fight just seemed off. Like something just doesn't seem right here, type of thing. Like there's something more to Phil. Like I was thinking, like did Phil stage this fight? Like, and then he saw because he saw the watch. Like, did he want to? And then he figured out it was the Omnitrix. So did he stage a fight so Ben would use the Omnitrix so he could confirm it, type of thing. And he was gonna try to get it somself. But no, none of that was to be. It was a little staged. But it was. I wonder why he called what. I wonder why he called Max and Ben to come over there because obviously,
Well, pretty sure the idea is Phil wanted Max to team up with him again as his partner.
Yeah, so I'm gonna guess. Yeah, so he wanted it.
Because he said he was like, "Hey Max, why don't you partner up with me again?" And Max was like, "Nah." So Phil was like, "I really want him as my partner."
Yeah.
So he staged this to try and get Max to join up with him.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like that, but he's not necessarily evil. He's a bad guy. He's doing illegal shit. But it's like Max said, he's basically stuck in the past. He can't accept that the plumbers are done. He wants to be a plumber and hunt aliens.
Right.
And he wants Max as his partner again.
Yeah. So, yeah, then we get the next scene. I don't think there's anything else here. Kind of like you said, just that awful again, but you kind of just talked about that. And then back at Phil's hotel, and you could definitely tell he's made it big. He's in a really expensive suite and everything like that. And later on, he tells Ben and Gwen he can order room service whatever he wants. It's on him. So basically he's making it big and everything like that. And he again offers for Max to join up with him and everything like that. But Max is still no, you can't buy me, type of thing. Nothing you do will convince me to go back to that life. So I do like this where Max is pretty content leaving that in the past, leaving his alien fighting days in the past. Whereas as we're going to talk about in a second, Phil isn't so much. And so Max says, "Look, I'm going to go for a walk," and then Phil follows him out. And obviously Gwen is suspicious about this because she kind of picks up that Max is suspicious about him, and obviously the whole season of of season 1, Max didn't tell her about this, so Gwen is kind of suspicious about him. What does Max know about Phil that we don't, type of thing. And to kind of get Ben to go out with them, he gets Ben to say hey, they might be doing some really interesting alien fights or something like that, to kind of get Ben to investigate and everything like that. So he goes out and they're already gone. Wow, that was quick. They left in a huge ass hurry. Wow,
And then Ben turns into Accelerate to chase after them, and Ben doesn't catch up with them for a good couple minutes.
Yeah.
I'm they must have fucking hauled ass. Max and Phil have super speed.
They must, yeah. Yeah, so
they're able to channel Adam's power of always teleporting around any corner they need.
Yeah, so maybe Adam learned it from them, So.
Or no, pulled a page from Javi's book of just fucking off, disappearing.
Yeah, one of the two, So.
Although in Alien Force, to make a joke, they do the Batman thing where somebody turns around and Max is gone, and then Max is talking to Ben, and then he turns around and Ben is gone. And he's like, "Dang it, it's only cool when I do that."
Yeah, that's funny.
So they actually do make a joke later on that Max can just fucking vanish.
But yeah, so Ben turns into Accelerate. He grabs Gwen, so they can run off to wherever they're going, type of thing, which I really like. And then Max goes back to the monument, and he goes underneath the headquarters and everything like that. And he opens up this room and he notices that one of his weapons is gone. And Max was even just like, I knew it. And then Phil channels his inner Adam, is always around the corner, just be like, yeah, I figured you would figure this out pretty quickly. And Max, this is kind of cool because I remember I have seen this before and heard about this when we used to watch Ben together. I'm probably going to mess up the name of this really badly because I've never said it before, but basically is it the Novoid? Like,
I was gonna say, I was interested if you knew about the Novoid, because that's a really big part of Ben 10 going forward.
yeah, it's like a Novoid, like, I don't think it's a shoot, huh? Projector. Well, basically it like sends them to like like an intergalactic dimension, like prison and all that type of stuff. I remember because the episode like we saw together, I don't know if it's Alien Force or the other one. I remember like Max uses that weapon like a lot when he comes back, but then like he uses it and like he traps himself in jail to like trap the villain they were fighting that episode. So like that kind of explained why Max was written off that time. So it's kind of cool to see like the first reveal. I didn't really think we got it like this quickly and all that type of stuff. I figured that was gonna
yeah. That's what I love about season 2 is they're introducing a lot of stuff that is like super important for everything going forward. Like and by the way, because Ben 10 has a lot of comic book inspirations. The Novoid is kind of inspired by the Phantom Zone in DC and the Negative Zone in Marvel.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But yeah, like you said, it's like an alternate dimension where they like throw the worst criminals into.
Yeah. Wow. So they're all just hanging out in there and everything like that, just chilling, So.
Just hanging out, passing time, playing cards.
I would love it actually if they like it better in there than they do when they get released, and then that's why they cause so much havoc when they get out of there. They want to go back and everything like that, and they have
they're institutionalized.
But
it's kind of in Generator Rex, the Generator Rex crossover. They end up explaining what so Ben basically gets sent to Generator Rex's world by like the villain, and the reason that happened is because like the Generator Rex world like accidentally tapped into the Novoid and sent the villain for that special into the Novoid, like not knowing what the Novoid was, and then it basically escaped the Novoid, found Ben, and then hopped over to the Generator Rex world.
Wow, that's really cool.
But I like just like fucking tap into it by accident.
Yeah,
like funny.
But
but yeah, really cool idea.
But yeah, the projector looks cool. I'm pretty sure there's different versions of it because I think the version I saw with you when we watched it as kids was like different. It was like a round ball or whatever like that. This one was like a straight like projector type of thing. So I'm pretty sure there's different versions of like the Novoid projector, but I might be wrong on that. It might just be me misremembering stuff. So
I think you're right.
But yeah. So then Max pieces two to go together that Phil obviously has been sending out the aliens that they trapped in the Novoid to recapture them and everything like that. And we find out that the reason that he's doing this is, Phil wants to start up like his own plumber's like business. Obviously, no one's gonna hire him if there's no aliens for them to go fight. So he's re-releasing all the aliens, so he can like recapture them and can get their business and everything like that. He's just what a scam artist he is and everything like that. I think this was a moment he joined the liars list, became like an honorary member because he's lying to people, making himself look like a hero when he's not even a hero.
And I love it, like at the club meeting, Max and Phil were just like eyeing each other on the other sides of the table.
Yeah, but yeah, I like this reasoning, as a villain. I think this is a really cool idea. I kind of like that he's a villain, but it's not related to like the Omnitrix or everything like that. I know we've seen that before in Ben 10, but this like seemed like it was more Max's villain than like Ben's villain and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I like that. And again, I like that he's not like, a pure evil, I want to take over the world. He's basically like, yeah, I release aliens, I catch them, and I get money for it. And
obviously Max is upset about this because, he won't let the past go, and he's basically going to put people in jeopardy by releasing these aliens, not really understanding the power. Like, that's the whole reason they were locked up, is so they wouldn't hurt anybody. So he's basically going to endanger people's lives so he can, like, make a quick buck and get famous and everything like that. And again, he just won't let go of the past. So, he says he's not going to let him get away with this. Phil offers one last time for like Max to join up with him and Ben, so that way they can all become famous. But Max still refuses. So he uses the Noid Void shooter. He releases this huge green alien that had like 4 legs and was just a really menacing villain. And yeah, he basically threatens to kill Max, basically saying that like I'll let Ben know that your final request was for him and I to fight aliens. I don't know how that would have gone over with hey, he would have been able to take we'll talk about this. He was probably doing this so he could take Max's place at the Liars Club too. That was probably why.
Yeah. He's like, listen, I really want to join the Lion Club, all right? Fucking, they're really cool. I gotta kill you and take your spot. And I'll lie to them and say you wanted it.
And if anything, like if he finds out they're lying, or if they find out he's lying, he might become president.
Yeah, and Max is like shedding a tear of like, I trained you so well.
So, I think in the Liars Club, the villain is the people that tell the truth. So that's why Yoda's seen as the big bad of the Liars Club and everything.
Yeah, they have like a poster on the wall of like, fuck Yoda.
But yeah, so obviously like Max is in trouble here. But then all of a sudden he just vanishes, starts like disappearing when the alien's about to capture him. Like he moves all over the place really quickly, and I mean I don't know how, I guess not as quick as he already was moving, because again he left the hotel or whatever that was like really quickly and came here. So, but we find out that Accelerate, Ben made it there, and Ben makes the save. Phil offers again for Ben to join up with them, but and basically like betray his grandfather. And Ben does it, he makes the heel turn. He sees the dark side,
I would love it if Ben was like, you know what, Phil, you got a good point. I guess I will betray and kill my grandfather. Why not?
But no, he refuses. It says you're dreaming, and Ben starts fighting this alien. He's trying to move really quickly to get away from it and everything like that. Max is trying to help out. He's trying to look for like the gun to extinguish the alien. And I like this. He's just like, no. Max doesn't have this place very well organized or anything like that, because he's just like, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, nope, nope. And then I think he ends up pulling out like one of the other weapons, and he like shoots the alien and like stuns it and all that type of stuff. And is able to kind of like put the alien down and everything like that. Obviously, at the end of the episode, like, they put him back in the no void and everything like that. But overall, really cool stuff. I just love the fact, you get to see Max kind of doing stuff. The reveal of Phil was pretty cool. I kind of liked that was, like, obviously, like, it was obviously predictable. Like, you could kind of tell that was coming, but it wasn't bad. I feel like a lot of people confuse predictability and bad. I think it's something's predictable, but it's done well. I think it's fine. When something's like so predictable and just not really done well and just boring, it's not as great.
I feel like the show did a good job of like, it wasn't really trying to be a secret. Like Max caught on to it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like when they I hate to use it. I hate that I always use it as a negative example. But Yellow Jackets, when they kept doing the the who killed Lottie thing, and it was very obviously like who it was. I'm like, all right, show, you're kind of dragging this out when it's super obvious. Like, come on.
Yeah, for sure. Then Gwen is just out there. She waited outside. She's hiding in the bushes, and she sees Phil's car. She goes into his car and like hides. I don't know why she went into his. I mean, she didn't really mean to go to his car and hide, but I think she went to like investigate, like to see what more to him there was, and then like he just happened to come out, so then she has to hide. And Gwen starts. Not Gwen. Phil starts driving the car. And he's listening to music. He's just chilling. He's so happy that he's gonna be making millions. He's pretty chill. And then Gwen notices the no void projector. She's about to like drop it out the window. But then he sees it and puts a stop to that. Says I don't think so, and all that type of stuff. And they have like a little bit of a struggle over it. And this is cool. The guy can like put his car like in autopilot and like fight her at the same time. pretty cool because Incredibles had just happened. I don't think Incredibles was out yet. It might have been a little bit later, but this was around the time where Incredibles did that with Mr. Incredible doing that with his call, like in one of them in that movie. So it's kind of cool we're seeing it at the same time. And I think before this, Max and Ben had run out and they noticed, no, actually it was after this because then, the guy gets the projector and he releases another alien and it's like a really huge, like alien, like almost like ghost-like and like really huge.
Yeah, I think these are cool because these end up coming back. These are the Null Guardians, where they are essentially like, unlike the other ones, which were like sent to the Null Void for being like too dangerous, like criminals. The Null Guardians are like the jail keepers of the Null Void.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And he starts attacking, and then Ben and Max come out to see this, and Ben tries to go forearms, but he ends up going gray matter by accident. Again, obviously don't mind this. I know that you could say, well, they should have just kept this in season 1. Again, because of what happened last episode, I can buy that Ben kept getting the one alien. And he's like, well, I didn't want gray matter, so he wants this gray matter, but he actually makes this work for himself. He kind of uses this to, like, tame this alien and everything like that and kind of knock it down. He kind of causes it to, like, slam into, like, the windshield and completely knock itself out. And the car, like, almost goes off the road. Phil is almost falling out of his car off the cliff. And then eventually, Max and Phil have like a little bit of a struggle over the Null Void projector. And then, Phil wins the struggle, obviously, because Ben's much smaller and everything like that. And he's about to shoot Ben with the projector. But then Max throws him like the side mirror for his car, the rear view mirror. And it bounces off the mirror and it shoots Phil. And he ends up going into like the Null Void projector. So this was a really cool, like, real fight. I really enjoyed this. Really cool to see Gray Matter kind of get into it. I enjoy kind of seeing, like, Phil kind of get into the mix a little bit. And, we kind of, it was one of the negatives of the last episode, but this kind of is a good positive. Like, everyone in, like, the main Ben 10 cast, like, contributed something to the fight. Max obviously had all his high-tech equipment, and he ended up being Phil's villain. Ben actually did the fight, but then at the end, like, Gwen was kind of getting to the mix, like, fighting Phil, like, in the back of his car, and, like, throwing the mirror to Ben to kind of help him. So I kind of like that everyone, like, contributed something, like, this episode. And then, the end of the episode, well, before I talk about the end of the episode, anything else you want to say about this, this little car fight right here?
No, it was good. It was, I like seeing all the different aliens. This episode introduced a lot of cool new alien designs, which was nice. And like you said, I like that everybody contributed.
So that's nice. So then the end of the episode, Max is obviously like cleaning up Phil's mess, like putting all the.
I think you kind of glossed over it, but I like that Ben like asked Max like, how many aliens did you like put in that thing? And Max is like hundreds. And I'm like, God damn, Max, you fucking legend. But he also said that like it's an alternate universe prison. So like theoretically, like it's got millions of people in it.
Yeah. I guess I didn't say that because like I had already explained what it was, so I didn't really feel like there was a need.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to again emphasize that like that's pretty important information that like Max himself put hundreds in there, but like it's got God knows how many dangerous aliens in that thing.
Which makes me question, because there's that episode in Alien. I mean, they're probably not going to do anything with it. Well, like, I'm pretty sure, like, he trapped himself in it. Imagine, like, the fucking reunion he's going to have when he goes in there and, like, sees all the people that he trapped, like, in there.
I love it if they do, like, a Rorschach thing where he's like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Because isn't that, like, a big, like cop thing? Like, if a cop goes to prison or whatever?
Yeah, and, like, all the people he put in there, like, are, like, suddenly, like, well, it's like Box Ghost and Danny Phantom. Well, here you are, wrapped up like a present.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're cleaning up kind of Phil's mess. And I like this, when Max finally, like, does apologize for, like, keeping his past a secret. Like, he should have been able to trust, like, Ben and Gwen that, like, to talk about his past. And he said, like, in the future, like, he's not gonna, like, hide his past anymore. Which, I assume that was probably a lie, you know,
He's 100% lying. He's hiding so many more things. He's 100%.
And, you know, then Ben, one of them asked, like, Max, like, what do you think happened to, Phil? And then Max says, sometimes it's best, in this line of work, it's best to not know what happened. So yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, Phil is probably defeated here. Like, maybe he'll never come back, but that kind of leaves it, like, open-ended. Maybe, like, he could come back. Like, we don't, like, because again, there's a possibility he could come back, because all you have to do is just use this projector, shoot out the light. I don't know how that actually works, though, because, like, obviously, like, he was just shooting out lasers and, like, hoping an alien would come out. I don't know if you can, like, pick which one comes out or whatever, so, like, so I assume, like, you did it. I assume if you do it enough, like, Phil will come out of there somehow, type of thing. I just love.
Well, I was gonna say that's actually kind of a complaint I have with this episode, that Max is so ready to just, like, let Phil rot in the null void, because you know, it's kind of like the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader thing, where in A New Hope, I kind of complained that, like, they didn't really have more to say to each other, considering, like, how important they were to each other.
Yeah.
In the past.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of just, like, you suck. No, you suck more. And I'm like, okay, you guys were, like, best friend. It's weird that you don't have more to say. Same thing here. It feels weird that Max is just, like, cool letting Phil rot. Presumably die. And actually, you know, like, the next time, what Phil does come back eventually, like, way fucking later. And Max actually does bring up that he says that, like, you know, it never sat well with me that I just abandoned Phil to the null void. Like, I feel like that was too harsh for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wish we got some of that in this episode, that maybe Max had, like, reservations about leaving Phil in there.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
And, like, to be fair, like, it's not as easy as just opening it back up. Like, you would have to, like, go in there and find him.
Yeah, so.
But still, again, it feels weird that Max is just like, oh, my friend of, like, decades. I'm just going to let him rot in there. Like, okay, fuck him.
I guess, yeah. But,
like, I mean, like, yeah, like, you know, Phil's, like, a criminal. Like, don't just let him go free, but put him in, like, Earth jail. Don't put him in a fucking alternate universe where, like, hundreds of aliens fucking hate him.
Yeah. I don't know, though. I'd rather him... It's really weird that, like, he got, like, the fucking cool jail, where, like, the Hex got, like, normal arrested jail type of thing.
I was gonna say, I feel like swap them. Put Phil in regular jail, put Hex in null void jail. You know? Like, why is this reversed?
Whatever.
Because Phil is going to be stuck in there for years. He's not getting out anytime soon.
Yeah, so he's probably going to go crazy in there. So,
yeah.
I'm surprised he's
and
going to...
By the way, I'll just say, when we get to the fucking -10, Clancy gets the -10, but not Phil. Like, really?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. So
they're selecting members of the -10. And they're like, all right, Phil, nah, it's okay. We don't really need to go get him. Clancy, homeless bug guy, though. That's where we're at. That's the real -10 right there.
I feel like every time we meet, like, a new villain, you're gonna say, like, that's, like, cooler than Clancy.
I'm gonna say, like, they don't get the -10. Clancy, though. Clancy makes the cut.
Bugman. Not even a creative Bugman. Not even a creative Bugman either. Like, non-creative homeless Bugman. So
homeless Bugman who's not creative and also doesn't understand that nukes would fucking kill him.
Yeah, I don't know why you want that guy. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Really enjoyed it a lot, though. You know, I liked seeing a look into Max's past. I liked Phil as a character. I like that everyone contributed something. I like the settings of the fights. I like that it picked up, like, right after last episode. It was immediate follow-up, which was nice. Because you don't really see that, like, in Danny, where, like, you get, like, an immediate follow-up after, like, the next episode. I know Season 3 does that, but Season 3, like, sucks.
Yeah. I give this one an A. I think it's really good.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So, really good.
Strong season.
Yeah, a good start to, like, you know, your favorite season. So let's hope they can keep it going. You know, I think the best way is if they don't bring Clancy back. I feel like that's already going to make it a better season for you. So
yeah, already we're gonna beat the void of homeless Bugman. So I'm like, all right, starting off strong.
I mean, he's coming back soon though, so you know it's coming.
Yeah, he comes back eventually, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna
him back.
but yeah, no plugs of promotion because we did that in the last video. So just go watch the last video for that, and that's pretty much it, guys. And we'll talk to you guys later.